Well, hey kids, welcome back to another Park Streamers Hangout where I think we have Bob, Steve, and Cordy. Thanks for joining us, Bob. We appreciate it.
Sorry.
So we have got a big show tonight, lots to talk about. So we're going to get right to it. But first, let me introduce my incredible co-host, starting with the young lady right below me, Cordy in California. Would you let everybody know where they can find you on social media?
You can find me on YouTube, Cordy in California, Instagram, same handle, TikTok, Cordy in California, and then X, Cordy in Cali 1.
All right. And to, what is that? Is that going to be my left, my right? I don't know. This guy over here. Yeah. Barry Place 28, our good friend Bob. Would you let everybody know where they can find you on social media?
Sure. Hey, everyone. Welcome to our show tonight. You can find me at Barry Place 28 at YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as I'm still trying to get my, Twitch up, but I'm on there. But for some reason, it's just not posting to there. So we'll get it going eventually.
All right. Yeah, the wonderful technical issues that we always have to deal with, right? And speaking of technical issues, somebody that is always solving them for us and trying to get us our best live streams possible and finding out all the tips and tricks, who's going to have lots of tips and tricks for you tonight, our good friend Steve, Adventures in the Park. Would you let everybody know where they can find you?
At Adventures in the Park on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube.
Just for hope.
Wow, look at that.
That was for hope.
That was for hope, yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, yeah, so I can be found on all platforms, as the name says, Adventures in the Park.
Adventures in the Park everywhere. Awesome. Well, like I said, we've got a big show. So we are going to start with one of the more recent events that is going on right now at Disneyland or California Adventure, and that is Oogie Boogie Bash. So so far, Cordy has been able to visit. She went last Thursday, I believe it was, right?
Yes.
So so she had her visit. She live streamed that night. So if you guys haven't checked it out, go back and watch the replay of her live stream. But we're going to get her thoughts on it now and kind of break it down. And she's going to hopefully have some tips if you guys are going to Oogie Boogie Bash, and she'll give you, some pointers as to what to do, ways to beat some of the crowds. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Cordy. Let us know what you thought.
All right. So yeah, went last Thursday. It was the second night. And so I had last year to compare it with. So I found some, it was basically carbon copy for the most part, except for the two new villains that were added. But one thing that I wanted to note that was a huge improvement this year is the treat trails. So the treat trails, and I have a little video, so I was just going to run it through while we kind of talk through. But real quick, the treat trails, most of them lead to a meet and greet, with a character. And last year, they tried to rush us through, and there was no other way to kind of get a picture or see them unless you were in the treat trail line. So people would hold up the line. It was a little more organized this year. So this year they had the treat trail ran really smooth. It was a quick walkthrough. And then they had other areas that you could stand and take your pictures and video. So they allowed that space for people to do that. So I thought that was a huge improvement, because a lot of people, that's the reason you're going, is to see those characters that you don't see very often. So do I need to pull up?
Oh, let me go ahead and add this.
I just wanted to show this real quick. If you guys can see it. That is George and Lynn, and they're as soon as I walked in, saw them. So, but yeah, I'll just kind of talk through as we go. But this is every time I touch it. You're welcome. Here's candy. So it's sponsored by Mars.
You just get to take your own candy?
Oh no, they were giving it to us, unless somebody was grabbing it. Maybe they were in that one. So Oogie Boogie is an animation academy. It's really cool in there, and he was interacting with guests, which was really cool. I know he only has so many phrases, but somehow he was able to, kind of pull it off when anybody looked at him there. And then another one that I got to see was Cruella DeVille, and this is that stage kind of by Monsters Inc. So she was up there. Same thing, it was a quick walkthrough, but they allowed us to walk pretty slowly past the front of the stage, which was nice because you were able to get as much video or pictures as you wanted. And then I went straight over to the Sanderson sisters after this, which was huge last year. I remember them saying it was like a 2-hour wait, even a 3-hour wait at one point. So I went over to ask, how long is the wait at this point? And she said about an hour. So this was a huge difference from the last time.
Now this is the Sanderson sisters. This is the Daisy, Clarabelle, and Minnie as the Sanderson sisters, right?
So when I came over, they had this little area. They closed it off later, but I was able to get right there and at least get a little shot of them before they went backstage. So they take breaks. So that I think that kind of delays it too, because you have to wait for them to come back. So you wait in line until they come back out. And then at night, it's really cool because they've got the cauldron and bubbles are coming out of it. So it's a pretty neat photo opportunity. I think that's why it takes a little bit longer, because it is a photo op, but a pretty cool one. I did not wait though. I didn't wait the hour. I just went by and I went on. Yeah,
that's right. The Sanderson sisters, you get to be up close and you can do like the hugs and actually get to interact with them up close, rather than like Oogie Boogie where you're like, he's up on the stage and you're just kind of walking by, a few feet away from him.
And I think it's especially if you are a Hocus Pocus fan, or even if you're not, right? If you can get a picture with Daisy, Minnie, and Clarabelle, right? That's a pretty cool thing. So in that sense, I don't think an hour is a long wait when you think of it that way, right? If that's something that's really important to you, I say go for it. All of the attractions were open, so you had full,
Oh, every attraction was open, really?
Yeah, so everything was open. I only went on one because I was like 15 minutes for Guardians, right? Monsters After Dark. So we did do that. And you guys have probably seen this on. I just put a couple of clips to like give you a little taste of what that's about. But 15 minutes. I found that for the most part, everything was around that time, 5 to 15 minutes, which is great. Especially, I've been kind of promoting or recommending that if you're not an annual pass holder or Magic Key holder, this is a great opportunity for someone to buy a ticket, enjoy kind of these unique events, and then also have low wait times for attractions. I think it's a win-win for anybody who only wants to go once or twice a year, right? You might as well hit up the After Dark event and get your 5-6 hours of fun. And and I think this one, because they've done it for so long, it's a pretty well-oiled machine. They're just adding to it each time. So I think that's the plus. Ernesto, this was a good move on their part. They moved him over where Madame Mim was last year, so over by the theater where Rogers the Musical was playing. So I had Union. So they moved him over here, so it gave more room for people to see him, because last time we were squished. We were squished pennies in that little spot over little tiny area. So they moved Madame Mim
Where was he last year? Was he in the little like nook that's off the parade parade route?
Yeah, right by Avengers campus, like right outside there. So they had him in there, and it was a pretty tight squeeze, and they were moving us through very quickly.
Yeah, I remember that they wouldn't even let you hang out. Like after you like walk by them, it was like, okay, get out, because it was just such a tight area. They couldn't let people hang out at all.
Yeah, so I think I'm really happy that they did this, because he also puts on a show. You know, he sings, and then there's a lot of dialogue. So what I found was all of the characters were interacting with guests. Like he was even telling people, no, don't go, stop, stay there. So we're so used to like, oh, we got to get out of the way and move on. But he was actually saying, no, stay here, and asking them questions. So I thought that was a huge improvement over last year.
Now, have you guys heard one of the theories of who Ernesto is?
Yeah, the guy from Fat Cat, right?
Yeah. As soon as I heard somebody mention that, I was like, oh my God, that's him.
Yeah.
I was like, that makes perfect sense.
I think so too. Or at least one of them, right? Because maybe they have a couple, maybe. I don't know.
How many Oogie Boogie Bashes do they do a week?
3.
3?
Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not too bad for a performer.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he could probably handle it.
If he took a break, in between sets or something.
Right.
And not on stage the whole time. But yeah, that was nice to have that big area so that people could, because I stood there, that's just a little piece of it. I stood there for a long time and filmed him, probably a good 5 minutes or so. So that was nice. And then last year I had watched the parade from over by Little Mermaid. Oh, am I frozen? Last year I watched over by Little Mermaid.
Oops, sorry about that.
And then, but this year I was over by Avengers campus. So I thought, oh, let me do it here. Let me just say, wasn't the best reception wise. So I would not recommend that if you're trying to live stream. But yeah, so just tiny little pieces. I don't want to give too much away if you guys are going, but you see a lot of great characters in the parade.
I love that. I love that Halloween song.
Yeah.
I think that is like the perfect song for the parade.
It is. And I think the way they break it, right, they have like the lightning, the thunder and lightning kind of goes, and then, the next thing is coming up. So it's a very cool parade. It's fun. But I didn't see the Headless Horseman. I saw him last year. But I did not see him this year.
Were you waiting for the parade at the beginning?
I was at the end. So it comes from Pixar Pier, so over by Paradise Garden Grill.
Right, but were you waiting like ahead of the parade? Were you there like for like 15, 20 minutes before the parade?
Yes, and then I stepped out of my spot because it was delayed. So that's when I went to see Ernesto, and then I heard the music start. So then I went back over there. So I found a spot easily. I found a workstation very easily. So that's really fun. And I think it just depends if you want to see the first parade or the second. I don't think there's really any big difference. It's just preference of, if you want to get everything done and then watch the parade, because you'll only have, 30 minutes after the second parade to do everything, kind of finish up the night. So just whatever your preference is.
Right.
This time I saw Agatha. I did not see her last year. That's what I mean. It was really hard to see everything last year. This year I felt like I had more of an opportunity to go around and see a lot of things. And then Cars Land, of course, there was no waits for the photo ops there. This is, of course, was already decked out, and all the Halloween glory there. And then I always forget his name, but he's Big Hero 6 villain. So
I want to say something like Yokai or something like that.
Yeah, there you go. So he was over there by He was over there. Oh, you know who I didn't show? I did see Sid. Darn, I should have shown.
Oh, and Pixar Pier.
Yeah, Sid was over there. Lotso was over there. And it was Lotso was actually by Toy Story, kind of Toy Story Midway, Toy Story Mania.
Mhm.
So it was just one of those like you see every day, right? You just walk up, you wait in line, and there he is. And then Doug was on the other side where you kind of view the Incredicoaster
Mhm.
as it, takes off. But and then Sid was in the same spot. So they were along there. And then Bruno, I thought I had put them in there, but I think it might be after this. But Bruno was in the same spot.
I haven't seen anybody post anything about Bruno this year.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
it's the wait wasn't that long. Last year it was a really long wait. There's no treat trails, it's just a photo op.
Okay.
So it was pretty easy to get in there, but this is just some little clip of the intro. I think this, out of everything, even when I went last night with my daughter, this was the one thing that literally went for 2 hours, which we won't talk about that. But we spent 2 hours there, and I made a joke because I said, "Wow, we came here to do things we do on a normal night," because we went and ate at a regular place, and then this was the one thing that she wanted to go walk through again. So
Yeah,
I just
Villains
think
Grove
it's
looks
beautiful.
amazing.
So there's and they too. I remember last year there was a little bit of a rush through here, but this time they didn't really say a word. So
Yeah, I've actually heard that from other streamers as well, saying that going through Villains Grove was much better this year.
Yeah.
That you didn't feel like you were being herded through quickly. That you actually had time to take it all in.
Yeah, because they let you in groups, and people can pass by. They can just
It just looks
Go by
so
you while
cool. I
you're-
wish they would sell like just it's like I'd pay $25 to go through Villains Grove.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like, just let me have that. I don't want to spend $150 or $180. Just here's $20. Let me go through Villains Grove. Let me buy an individual lightning lane for that.
That would be
Wow.
that would be something if they could keep that open. And then Mother Gothel, she's kind of there's a treat trail that goes around the back of Grizzly,
Mhm.
and then you come out here where Bruno is. So she's back there, and then this is another one of the new villains, the Judge Doom from Roger Rabbit. And it was this was the last thing. I think I got there at like 7 minutes to 11 or something. I was like the last, maybe even 5 minutes. So I got to see this.
You got to see the last murder.
The good, yeah. And he did. Was like, this is perfect. We got like the whole show in that 5 minutes.
While I'm gone.
And then because I'm not up on my Roger Rabbit, they were in the chat. They're like, "Say shave and a haircut," and it wasn't until the next time, like, "Oh, I was supposed to say it like shave and a haircut," but I did say it, and he did look at me and says, "Shave and a haircut, And then he gave me an evil smile and said, "Goodbye." But that was
Love the
pretty.
purple
That
trees.
was good. And
of course.
Circle.
Yep, Carthay Circle looks great.
That's how we we ended the night. So yeah, I was I felt personally that it was worth the money for the ticket. I had a great time, and I think it's just like I said, if you're somebody who wants to get on all the attractions and you're not a pass holder or magic key holder, then it's definitely beneficial to take advantage of these, especially because all the attractions were open. I know we experienced some other After Dark events where not everything is open,
Mm-hmm.
so you kind of feel like you're missing out on some stuff. But
Right.
I think Oogie Boogie is one of the exceptions.
No, that's actually really good to know, because if the wait times are really low for all the attractions, then yeah, it might make sense for somebody, if you're going to make 1 or 2 trips a year, make one of them if you can. Obviously, it's a pain to get tickets, but if you can make it to Oogie Boogie, you've got the Halloween vibe going on, plus you can hit all your attractions.
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually an interesting tactic to employ for somebody who doesn't go very often. So let's ask you this: on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being absolutely perfect, can't wait to do it next year, wish I could go again this year, whatever. How would you rate this year's Oogie Boogie Bash?
The reason I won't give it a 10 is there weren't a lot of specialty foods. Like I thought there was going to be more of that. I think there was like a milkshake at Smoke Jumpers, and I think there was some like spicy honey chicken, at Flo's, but it wasn't, as far as I know, there weren't a lot of fun options for
Okay.
just us as guests. And what they gave away. So I didn't check last night, but the last Thursday when I went last year under Silly Symphonies, they gave away. Do I have one here? Oh, I do. Okay, so they gave this away last year, and basically it's just a little thing. You can put your Put your popcorn in it. So it's a little bag. It has a handle, and then you could stick like a thing of popcorn, right? The container in there. So last year I waited in a really long line, and that's what they gave you. But they also gave you a full-size almond Snickers. So that's worth it.
And was that for every guest or Magic Key?
No, Magic Key holders only.
Okay.
So this year I went over there and I was like, oh, they're doing it again. So it was the same exact one. So no new design. It was the same exact little popcorn bag, and no special candy or anything else was given. No lanyards. You just get your wristband and a map. So, unlike the other events where we got a kind of a little keepsake, right, from the event. So that you do not get for Oogie Boogie.
Well, I'm feeling disappointed here. I'm going tomorrow night.
But yeah, it was just.
I actually kind of. It's interesting that they don't have all the food items, because that's usually one of the things that's the big deal is they've got 15 or whatever new food items, and I'm always like, oh, so you buy a separate ticket to be able to go in and then buy more food.
But I will say,
it's like
I will say, the San Francisco was packed. So it's new food. It wasn't, Oogie Boogie themed, but it's all kind of new food and new drinks and things like that. So we even went there. We went to Aunt Cass's, the one that's renamed the Pacific Wharf restaurant was renamed. So that's where we went. And yeah, so
they also had the new villain though too.
Yes.
So
yeah, so there were a lot of people eating. There was a huge line for the Lucky Fortune cookery, and so it seemed like everybody was having a good time. Just kind of,
Now it's sold out, so every night is sold out. How were the crowds, as far as like when you were walking around? Did it feel like, oh my God, it's really crowded, or was it just like a how do I usually put it? Comfortably festive?
It was comfortably festive. Like if you went last minute to the parade, you would find a spot.
Okay.
Yeah. So I will say that was something that was nice too. That granted, not everybody was able to get a ticket. So maybe with these lower, crowd levels, that was part of the cause. But I think that's definitely a positive for people who are buying the tickets, right? That's what we're expecting.
Definitely. Yeah.
So that was huge. And I can say that for Thursday and for last night. So both nights was a really good crowd level. And then it kind of, dies out as the night goes on, right? Because a lot of families with children, they'll start to, start leaving around.
And the event ends at 11, correct?
Yes.
That seems early to me.
But that's what my daughter was saying too. She said, I'm surprised it doesn't go till midnight. But the other After Dark events are 9 to 1. This one's 6 to 11. So you get your 5 hours plus your 3 mix-in hours.
Yeah.
So it comes out even, but I have a feeling it's probably because there's more families, right? More children are there to trick or treat and things like that.
Yeah,
So I
sure.
want to get it started early.
Mm-hmm. Well,
And did the
hey,
crowd
Brian-
start thinning out pretty early? Like at around like 10 o'clock? Could you already kind of see
Yeah.
that? Oh, yeah,
They were already like, okay, wow, you got a lot of candy, buddy. Let's go.
okay.
You know, so
you
Okay,
did have
so-
a lot of candy last week.
oh my gosh, that was I feel like I had 5 pounds of candy.
That whole backpack was full.
It's all gone.
So
I
real,
didn't
real
get-
quick, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. Brian says, if I had kids, I would go and take them, but as someone who's gone 2 years in a row, it doesn't have the same repeat value.
I could see that. I definitely, Brian, I could see that. I can see why people might say, oh, it's the same thing, right? You know, like it's not big enough of a change from last year to this year. But I think everybody kind of has a different view on that. Now, next year, I'll probably go again next year. I'll see how I feel, right? If I'm like, oh yeah, I guess it is. I guess it is kind of the same, or if it'll be as enjoyable to just go hang out for the night.
So one question I have though, because I've watched obviously, your live stream, I've watched some other people's live streams, and obviously I've seen the decorations around DCA, and it's really nicely decorated. I haven't really seen it at night when it's the actual Oogie Boogie, but to me it seemed like there were spots where it was very kind of Halloweenish, and then areas where it was just like a normal DCA without anything, Halloweenish around. And I was kind of like, I feel like it's not really a Halloween event per se. I mean, it definitely was. I mean, you had the parade and the different, areas with characters and whatnot, and, the Grove and different trick-or-treating areas. I don't know. When people started walking around, I got that feeling that it wasn't a huge Halloween event.
Yeah, I would say it's no different than any other night that you go to DCA, right? Cars Land is lit up the same every night. So there's nothing new there during the event. The only thing would be that the characters are out, right? The ones they hide behind those fake shrubs, those come. But I would agree, just kind of the mood lighting and things like that. But otherwise, you can see the same Halloween decorations as you would any night.
But you're just not seeing the characters, the parade, and things like that, though.
And there were characters walking around, like Captain Hook was out. He was out a lot. And Shmi, and they had, I think it was the sheriff. There was like a couple of Robin Hood characters. So some other unique characters that were walking around. And then I didn't know who this prince was, but it was from Frozen, my daughter said. So he was out there.
I was going to say, I thought they had, was it Hans from Frozen? I thought he was out.
Yeah, and I'm so used to seeing him, how he's in his like winter wear in the parade. But here they had him all in a prince, like he was like all dressed up. She said it was Frozen, so I don't know, unless she's wrong. But but they had the photo ops right there at the fountain. So they would change them out there, and then they walk around, you would just find them randomly walking around. So that was kind of neat.
Brian saying, wait, Cars Land is lit up Halloween on a non-Oogie Boogie night?
It is.
Yeah. Cars Land has pretty much everything going. I think the only thing you don't get is I haven't seen Red, the fire engine, out.
I did see him that night. They had him back.
He was?
Yeah, I was going to say I saw EJ's Adventures. They posted some pictures and they showed Red.
Yeah,
and I haven't seen Red.
I don't know if they had him come out into on the main road, but I saw him over by, as you go Avengers Campus into Cars Land. They had him set up over there, so photo ops over there.
On a non Oogie Boogie night, you saw Red?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Although, you know what? I feel like I did last year, though. They had him going up and down the street at one point. So I don't know. I have a feeling I'll have to look out for him on my nights there and see. too.
Brian was also asking if Hades came out. I know he's in the parade, but was he walking around?
I didn't see him. So I'm not sure unless I missed him, because I think a lot of that was going on kind of in that main hub area at the front.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't spend a lot of time there. I went from I was other parts of the park, so I only saw that at the start and the finish. So possibly they could have been alternating him at the fountain area.
All right. I guess to kind of wrap up the Oogie Boogie, what would you say is your favorite part, and you would recommend to everybody to not miss it?
Villains Grove.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
Besides Villains Grove?
Yeah, I was gonna say besides Villains Grove, because everybody knows that one.
I say that because the way they had it set up this year, like I said, it was very well organized. I would just hit all the treat trail. I literally had like 5 pounds of candy. No joke. So it's like you could go through and there's like 4 or 5 stations per treat trail. And then at the end of the night, of course, because my daughter even told me this because she did it one year for the Halloween thing at the Disneyland side. And she said at the end of the night, anything that's outside of a bag, sealed bag, they have to get rid of. So that's why at the end of the night, they're like throwing handfuls into people's.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's good to know. If you're there at the end of the night, all the way to close, make sure you've got empty bags to get all the candy.
Yes. Yeah, bring your own bag.
Okay.
They give you a tiny, I don't think I have one here.
Yeah. Oh no.
It's this big. So I brought my Bob the Paris.
Oh. Okay.
That's
Cool. That's a good idea. Maybe I'll bring my little Paris bag that I give you guys. That's cool. I'm gonna have to take something because I'm going tomorrow night, and I want to make sure I've got plenty of. Well, it's bad enough I've got my streaming bag or backpack with me, and that is pretty full. So I can't imagine having to carry a couple bags.
Got a locker. Definitely get
you got
a locker.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then that way, because you could even get another bag. So because I think I did this last year, I had a smaller bag that I brought, but then what I did was I dumped it into a bigger bag and then stuck it in the locker. And then as I walked in, some more and filled up again.
Brian says, bring a pillowcase.
I almost did that, but I was like, oh, they're going to think I'm crazy.
Yeah. Jetta Jade says, I guess you could re-give candy at Halloween. And I've heard a lot of people say that, they basically go through there, get a bunch of candy, and then use that to give out on Halloween.
Exactly.
So
I will admit, I have done that in the past when I went. Yeah, you can't give those away. Those will have to go home in the fridge right away. Very
All
cool.
right, so we're going to move on from Oogie Boogie Bash, and we're going to move on to some other tips and tricks. So we're going to give Steve his moment here. So, Steve, last time you gave us some tips and tricks for rope dropping attractions. This week, what kind of tips and tricks do you have for us?
Food, where to eat, what to eat, and where not to eat. But we're going to start with Disney dropped a promotion on September 1st, which could very well be the deal of the year. So with any purchase, and the word any means any, and I found little bottles of bubbles for $1.59, you get a free magic band. That can't be beat. So if anybody doesn't have a magic band, and this is what it look like, unless you have to have a $50 one that has Chippendale on it, this one works fine. Now, the question is, do you need a magic band? Yes. So I've been an infrastructure, IT, and cybersecurity engineer for 35 years, and I don't want them scanning my phone. If they scan a magic band, they can't get much. But their devices, we don't know exactly what they do. So I recommend you don't have your phone scanned by their machines.
Just a little paranoid there, aren't you?
No, I could say
he's an IT professional, so I'm pretty sure he's seen some stuff.
Yeah, I could say with authority that you don't want to stick your phone in the lightning lane machine, and because that's all software. That stuff could be programmed. I mean, that's what I do. So I recommend you get a magic band. So Anyway, so let's.
Okay, so there's a tip for you guys right there. So get the
Yeah,
Magic Band
and you
so
might
you
say,
don't
well,
have to scan your phone.
Right. You might say, well, what did he do before Magic Bands? I'll tell you exactly. I used a vanilla burner phone, took a screenshot of my pass, and I had it on there. But you know what?
Oh, it's funny.
Funny, but that stuff goes on. I'm not saying Disney's doing it,
I
but
know.
that stuff goes on. So let's move on to food.
All right,
where
food.
do you eat and why? So let's start with Hungry Bear. Excellent place for food. What isn't excellent is the amount of tables and how close they are to each other. And everybody that has kids eats at Hungry Bear. So if you want little ones running into your table, screaming, vomiting, and I've seen that, and everything else, don't eat the food at Hungry Bear. Take it somewhere else, because they have a lot of tables, but they're very close together. And I was eating there every week for a long time, and every week bang into the table. And yeah. So
I would say if you can,
I go downstairs.
I was going to say, if
downstairs
you can,
is just as crowded, but there's not as many kids.
if you can make it over by where the Columbia dock is, Fowler's Harbor, there's some nice tables that are very secluded there. And if you're able to get one of those, that's a perfect place to have lunch.
If you eat early enough, you can actually get tables over there.
Yeah.
So, item 2, all chicken tenders are not created equal.
Mike says, I feel like this is turning to a CSI.
Well, hey, I can talk tech for the whole 2-hour stream if you want, but I don't want to scare anybody. I could scare you all plenty. So, so chicken tenders. I've had chicken tenders at several places in the park, and I can tell you the Golden Horseshoe has the worst chicken tenders when they're open that I've ever had. Smoke Jumpers Grill, they're very good. And the brand new ones that Flows, they're basically chicken tenders. It's a seasonal item, and they coat it with this very spicy sauce. Delicious. So that's the story for chicken tenders. I recommend Flows. That's my go-to restaurant. I've never had a bad meal at Flows. The club sandwich there, as Cordy can contest to, is really, really good. The secret with Flows is you want to try and eat early so you can get a table. The downside of Flows is, one, you can't really live stream because they're blasting 50s and 60s music and they don't turn it down. So if you're trying to have a conversation with somebody, forget it. If you're live streaming, you'll probably have tons of copyright claims. But other than that, Flows is a great place to eat. And they have this little secret table that has an AC plug, one in the whole place. So if you ever need to charge something, it's near the window up against the wall, and it's a live AC adapter you can plug into. And it's safe. It's not USB, it's AC. Okay, moving on. Everybody talks about the breakfast chimichanga up against the American breakfast burrito at Galactic Grill. I've had both. Both are excellent. The difference is, if you like grease, get the chimichanga. If you don't want the grease, get the breakfast burrito at Galactic Grill. They're both delicious. They run out of the chimichangas by about 10 a.m. Sometimes they'll have a second batch. Sometimes they won't. But again, the breakfast burrito is very good also.
Yeah, I've had the breakfast burrito at Galactic Grill, and it was pretty darn good.
Yeah,
sizable as well.
Yes, exactly.
For the price, it was a decent size.
I was supposed to meet somebody for lunch, and I had to get a breakfast burrito because they were going to be late. So, I have no idea.
Who could that be?
Yeah, who could that be? I don't
know.
Someone that doesn't rope drop like me.
Exactly.
So, and now we're going to move on to pizza. So my least favorite place to eat in the whole park is Alien Pizza Planet. So for $9, you can get a slice of pizza that tastes like your Amazon box. Sorry, but it does. Or you can go to downtown Disney And you can go to Napolini's, and for $13, you can get a 10-inch pizza that has about 4 pieces. That's delicious. Now, to compare Napolini's with Naples, it's almost the same pizza, but the pizza in Naples is $24 for a pepperoni, and it's $13 for almost the same size, or I think it is the same size, Cordy, right? To get it at Napolini's. Cordy and I have eaten at Naples, and I think our meal was what, $60 for 2 of us?
Yeah, it was.
For-
Yeah, it was
For 2
expensive.
pizzas, when you can go downstairs and you just don't get to sit down and have drinks, but it's $13.
Yeah.
So the pizza recommendation would be not Naples, would be Napolini's. Okay. Now moving back into the park. Right now, where's my notes? Okay, right now there's a place that's closed, and I'm going to give you another tip. In DCA, there's a place called Schmoozies. Very good desserts. The tip is never mobile order. During the last run when they had, every time I'd order with cash, I'd get my service 10, 15 minutes before people were getting angry because they mobile ordered 20 minutes ago. So a tip is, if when Smoothies is under refurbishment right now, but when they reopen, don't mobile order, walk up to the window and just pay for it, and you'll get your order within 10 minutes. But if you want to wait 30 minutes, go ahead and mobile order it. And I have tested that on several occasions, and it's come true every single time.
These are good tips.
Yep. Now,
Yeah.
moving on to ice cream. So Cordy finally got me to try, and this is Danny's specialty. So
Yeah.
Gibson Girl versus Clarabelle's. I always ate a Gibson Girl, and then Cordy got me to try Clarabelle's. And let me tell you, I don't know. I thought ice cream was all the same, but it's not. Clarabelle's was not as good as Gibson Girl. Danny might disagree. I don't know what the difference is. Cordy says one uses Haagen-Dazs and one uses something else.
Dryers.
They both use
But
dryers.
But
For a while, they were doing. They had a Haagen-Dazs. I don't know. Maybe it was just temporary. But let me just clarify. I didn't have you tried Clarabelle's. We don't want to rehash that night. We were supposed to go to Gibson Girl, and then Anyways, you had.
Well,
had some.
everyone
we
knows
were,
my
we were
feeling
in
on
the
the.
area and we went into Clarabelle's. Okay, fine.
I used to love Clarabelle's, and I loved it more than Gibson Girl, only because they had chocolate chip ice cream, and everyone knows I love chocolate chip. But they don't even serve it now. However, I was able to get some chocolate chips put onto my vanilla ice cream a couple weeks ago. Hey, the night we saw Leonardo DiCaprio and Lucas Haas. Whoa. At the Gibson Girl. So that was cool. But I will say my favorite place right now to get ice cream really is probably Ghirardelli.
Well, yeah, that I mean,
Oh yeah, I didn't even bring up Ghirardelli's. So yeah,
no contest.
yeah, I've eaten there quite a bit. I wanted just to compare Clarabelle's with Gibson Girl. Yeah, Ghirardelli's is in their own league. That's like
Yeah, I mean, it's the only thing is you're paying,
yes,
through the
and that's-
nose for it.
it's kinda
But
like
it
what I'm
is
talking
it is a next level. Gibson Girl, I haven't had. I felt that the ice cream when I had it was just fine. It was just like, or Clarabelle. When I had Clarabelle, it's to me the same as Gibson Girl. The only thing I had was I ordered a waffle bowl the other night, and they gave me the 2 cookie sundae instead. But other than that, no big deal.
Yeah, I'll go to Ghirardelli's, and typically after I go on a credit coaster and ride it like 3 or 4 times in a row, I go to Ghirardelli's because that banana split kind of settles me after I'm ready to kind of lose it after 3 or 4 times in a row. So that brings up the next topic. So if I had to pick, and I haven't eaten at every restaurant at Disneyland. Okay, I haven't eaten at Blue Bayou, but my pick for best reasonably priced would be Carnation Cafe. I don't think there's ever been a bad meal there. Their patty melt is really, really good. And it's only about $6 more than getting a high-end burger at, Galactic Grill or whatever. It's like $19 opposed to $15. and Cordy and I ate there plenty of times, and they have a wonderful dessert, and the ambiance is good. The tables are not right on top of each other, and there's not a lot of young ones there running around screaming like Hungry Bear. They should change the name of Hungry Bear to Kids Bear, and that would be perfect. Hey, I like Hungry Bear. I just, after like not this Saturday, but the Saturday before, when these kids were just bumping into my table while I was trying to eat, I said, that's it. So let me see if I'm covering anything else.
Come on, Steve.
What?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I was going to say, I actually, for my birthday, we're going to be going to Disneyland right around my birthday. And my wife asked if she should get reservations at Blue Bayou when they open up. And I said, actually, I think I'd rather go to Carnation Cafe. I think the patty melt sounds better than spending $60 on a steak at Blue Bayou.
Yeah, I could definitely. I can't speak for Blue Bayou because I've never eaten there, but I could say with authority that the patty melt at Carnation Cafe is very good.
Yeah, I love the patty melt. Although at Blue Bayou, way back when, they had a New York steak sandwich for lunch, and that was my favorite meal at Disneyland.
The last place that I could definitely recommend, and I know Danny recommends it, everybody recommends it, is Tropical Hideaway. Place is amazing. The line isn't long. They got plenty of tables, and those Dole Whips are delicious.
Man, now I want a Dole Whip.
I know. Let's go.
Sometimes the line gets long.
Cordy,
Sometimes.
what's that Dole Whip I treated you on the last one? The Bloody Mary Dole Whip. What was it called?
Oh, we got the blood orange.
The blood orange. Oh, that thing was delicious.
I got to try that one. I haven't tried that one yet.
And the very last thing I don't recommend you get at Disneyland, because I did to get another Magic Band, was a Disneyland sucker. I opened this just before this event, and it broke into about 5 pieces, just taking the plastic off. So anyways, get the Magic Bands. I think they're going to be available till they run out. I'm not going to tell you how many I bought. I'm not selling them. I'm keeping them, giving them away as gifts and so forth. But the understanding is until supplies last, and from what I understand, talking to the CM on Saturday, is they had quite a few, like thousands, but they are allocating so many per day. So if you want to pick one up, recommended to get it in the morning. I know some streamers I was watching over the weekend, they were going to the Tomorrowland where the pin trading is. So they basically were buying a $20 pin and getting a free Magic Band. I was paying $1.59 for each Magic Band.
Where were you getting them for $1.59?
The bottles of bubbles in the line to the other guests because that was the cheapest thing in the store. Unless you, of course, have to have the $50 one that has Star Wars on it, but they all work the same. So
all right. Well,
that's my presentation. If someday you guys want to do a in-depth tech talk, we can do that. But you might not want to go out anymore after that. So we might not want to do it. So.
Yeah. Once we get our tinfoil hats ready, then we'll go ahead and have that discussion, Steve.
Okay. Okay, so we'll pass it on now to who's left.
Real quick though, Steve, we do have a question. Where would you recommend getting the Magic Band? What store for a cheap item?
So if you want to get it for $2.50 or less, go to either the Emporium or the World of Disney. Because if you go to the one recommended in DCA, the one that's on that corner, I don't think they have anything in that store less than $50.
No, that's where we got them.
Well, yeah, because of what we got. Do you want you want to pass that information out, or?
I would just with word of caution that it could it says any purchase, but I know it's mixed signals. But on that particular day, we were able to purchase reusable bags.
Right. I was going to say there's been some issues with cast members having different information. Some saying that it has to be an eligible purchase, which means something that is high enough for you to get your Magic Key discount. So yeah, it's kind of frustrating.
That is not true. So I made my first purchase in the Emporium, and the line was around the corner on Saturday, and it says any item. So if there was a toothpick on the floor that they were selling, that is any item. The problem I had with the one cast member on the first one, was purchasing 4, and I had 4 packs of the refill bubbles. And she said, you can only get 1. I said, it doesn't exclude 1 per person. I showed her the picture, and she goes, well, you only can get 1 per purchase. So she made me get back in line to get the other ones. So I got back in line. Yeah, back in a long line. So she rang up 1, and I was about to call her supervisor, and she said, well, that's the rule. And it says 1 per purchase.
Right.
So here's exactly what Danny's talking about. I got back in the line, waited another 10 minutes, and that line goes pretty quick. I had the other 3 bottles. I had another different cast member, and she rang up all the transactions separately right while I was there. She did not make me go back in line. So it does depend on which cast member you get.
And that's the frustrating thing. That's the frustrating thing is they need to just tell everybody and train everybody, hey, these are the rules, and just put it out there.
Right. Well, the same thing is going on for some of the attractions, I have to say, like Star Tours. If anybody watches live streams, like I'm sure you do, you'll see someone get denied to take a video in there. And then 20 minutes later, they can go back in there and they can take all the video they want. So I had a discussion with the lead cast member. It's like his attraction. And he said, no, there's no restriction. And then after that, I guess he went in and talked to his cast members, because I've never seen another issue in that attraction since.
Yeah, I had that actually happen to me. I was on there and they could see me. I have the gimbal, the phone out, everything. And once the ride started, they got on the PA to say, please put away all cell phones.
Right.
It was like, you couldn't have said something to me while you're right there walking by. Just make a quick little mention of, hey, we're going to need you to put that away before the ride starts. It's like, it was just really weird.
Yeah, there's a lot of inconsistencies. I mean, I had a Disney PhotoPass photographer, while I was taking my picture with Darth Vader, tell me that I can't have a selfie stick in the park. Ooh, that was a big mistake, because I asked him, I said, can you tell me the definition of a selfie stick? And he looked at me and he couldn't. And I said, well, I went through security and this doesn't extend. And I said, maybe you should be working at security. And he sort of dropped it right then. So it's very inconsistent, unfortunately. I love Disney, but again, like Danny says, it comes down to training, and you'll get a different story from different people. And like when Cordy and I went into Elias and Company, we didn't have any issues. We got as many as we wanted. We could have gotten a different cast member that said, no, you can't get the bags, because the bags were only $2. And everything else in Elias and Company, like I said, is probably like closer to $50. Right.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. I tried to buy the bags, and they said, no, you can't buy the totes. You got to make other purchases. But at Elias and Company, if I made 8 purchases, I got 8 magic bands under my 1 magic band key. So, which, it's not what is supposed to be happening, but I was like, wow, that's pretty.
No, you could get 20 magic bands under your 1 key, but they had to be separate transactions.
Purchase, right.
Right. So they could have made you stand in line 8 times, or they could have rang it up all at once. But yeah, there was no restrictions. The wording was very clear. So anyways, I recommend you go and get one if they still have them available, because if you don't want it, they make great gifts. It's, you're talking about a $35 magic band basically for $2.
$45. These ones are the slate color. I checked it, and it's a $44.99
it's $45?
magic band.
Because I thought the original magic key
was
$35.
Well, the current slate
deal.
Yeah, the current slate ones are $45. So,
wow, that is a good deal then. Yeah. So you probably want to pick some of those up. But like I said, if I ever do giveaways on my channel, I would probably just do those as giveaways, or I might carry one in the park, and if I see somebody that looks like they're in need and wants a magic band, I'll just hand it to them. I mean, it cost me $2, $1.
Nice.
Did you say you're going to do a giveaway?
No,
Steve.
I'm not doing giveaways. No, I said if I ever did a giveaway. No,
I had to give you a hard time. All
right.
That's why Bob bought 8 of them. He's going to do them as giveaways.
Maybe.
You never know.
Oh, we got Kiki and Luca going. Their ears are perking up for giveaway.
Yeah, Kiki and Luca will be the first one in your chat, and then we give them a magic band. What is that?
It's too funny.
Yeah, giveaways.
Whoops.
Okay, the first one to show up in the chat, they'll get a free magic band, right, Kiki and Luca?
You usually like saying I'm first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that in Cordy's chat. Kiki and Luca were first, and then I said I'm second, and then I forget who it is. Let me see. One of the mods came in and said, "Yeah, but I'm in charge."
Yeah, that was Trish.
Well, that was pretty good.
That was perfect.
Yeah, I'm in charge. So.
All right, kids. It's time to move on to the next topic, and this one's probably going to get a little spicy. I'm thinking, just because of the topic and how Disney seems to be doing things these days. We're going to talk about some of the announcements from Destination D23 that happened over the weekend. Bob, you've got most of the information, so go ahead and kind of give us a 30,000-foot view as to what was going on.
No problem. Let me bring up the screen real quick so I can show you guys. And this one's coming from IGN, so this is where we kind of pulled this information from. But so on Saturday they had the Destination D23 regarding the Disney Parks panel, and what they normally do is they do a destination which is over in Florida when it's not in Anaheim, and they kind of just talk about things in general for Walt Disney World and the Disney parks, etc. So obviously. They had Josh D'Amaro was there for the product chairman to kind of lead the Disney Parks panel and reveal what was happening and what was being sent out there. So the first thing they announced is that Dinoland USA at Walt Disney World's Animal Kingdom is going to be rethemed with experiences inspired by Encanto and Indiana Jones. So I guess the first really cool thing is that they are going to take the dinosaur ride, and it's now going to be themed after Indiana Jones. So I think that's really cool. And I like that. I think it'll fit in there. If it's just the one ride, it's kind of weird that they're just doing the one, ride, but maybe they'll do a little theming around it. It's everyone's like, why are they putting Indiana Jones and some Encanto stuff into Animal Kingdom? But Animal Kingdom has always been about conservation, right? That's what Joe Rohde was all about. He was all about that, and I think one of the reasons why he's no longer there anymore, and why we're starting to see some other things like Encanto showing up there in the park, is that's what's happening. But I think Indiana Jones is going to fit in fine. It's the same ride system. It's going to be great to see that ride over there, and I think a lot of people in Walt Disney World are going to like it. The other thing they announced was the opening date revealed for Epcot's Journey of Water, inspired by Moana, and that's going to be on October 16th of 2023. And obviously, this is the new attraction that's located within the World Nature, and it's a walkthrough experience. So it lets you engage with the water in magical ways. You've probably seen the TV commercials on TV. It looks, I don't know. I haven't obviously seen it in person. It looks nice, but from the TV commercials, I'm kind of expecting a little bit more than what I think we were promised. But hey, at least we're finally getting it open, and we'll be able to experience it on October 16th, and hopefully we'll be able to see more videos and information on that. The next thing they announced was the World Jumping Vehicle revealed for the upcoming multiversal ride at Disney California Adventure. So this is the only Disneyland or Disney California Adventure related news that they actually had at D23. And so they were talking about what the ride vehicle is going to look like. So obviously it was confirmed that King Thanos was be the brand new multiversal threat that's being designed exclusively for this attraction here at DCA. And we know that we're obviously going to be traveling back in time to face off against Thanos with our favorite heroes from the Avengers movie. So that'll be kind of cool. But they were just kind of showing off the ride vehicle itself, which, to be honest with you, looks very similar to the Spider-Man vehicle and the Transformers type vehicle that they have at Universal Studios and in Florida at Islands of Adventure. So nothing really new there. I mean, it's kind of cool looking, but it looks very, similar to what, we've seen already. One of the cool things they mentioned also was Epcot is getting a test track, or Epcot's test track, I should say, is getting a big update. So that's kind of cool. Obviously, when it first opened in 1999, it was, a big hit with everyone. I like it. I personally, like test track at Epcot. It closed in 1996, and then obviously saw Omni vehicle. And you got to learn about the history of it and everything. But basically, they're just updating it. It's going to be really cool. I think it'll be nice that they're updating it, and we'll get to see some new, theming to it, because right now it kind of looks Tronish, I guess you'd say. So I like that. But it looks like it needs a little update. So that'll be nice. Also, they talked about future plans for Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom are the largest ever for the park. But a lot of the things they talk about at Destination D23 is, hey, they talk about, hey, this is what we're planning, this is what we like to do, but some of this stuff never ever comes to fruition. So just keep some of this in mind. Obviously, they're planning on doing some of these things, but there's some things that may not happen. But obviously, Bruce Vaughn, he's a chief creative officer or office at Walt Disney Imagineering, and he shared the future expansion for Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom are the largest for the park, and that the Imagineers want to tell stories beyond Big Thunder Mountain in ways that are similar to scale of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and Pandora, the World of Avatar. And then tomorrow obviously wrapped up the panel by saying that there are big plans for the next decade at Disney parks, but they don't really say what those plans are. So we did have the Magic Kingdom's new Pirates of the Caribbean theme lounge that's been coming out. It says it'll have guests in Yo-Ho, Pirates Like Me, but again, this is one of those things where they're making kind of an announcement, but anything can happen and change with this. It looks really cool and really neat, but remember, we saw pictures of Tiana's Bayou Adventure look great. And then when we saw it at D23 last year, we were kind of like, what's going on? Why is it toned down, and why has it changed quite a bit? So this is one of those things that could change as well, but it's supposed to be a first of its kind experience that's headed to Disney's Magic Kingdom. And it's a new Pirates of the Caribbean themed lounge. So, and in this lounge, it's going to be located obviously in Adventureland. It's going to extend the story of the Pirates of the Caribbean. And so hopefully it's going to be a cool little lounge. They did announce that Zootopia is coming to the Animal Kingdom, but it's coming to the Tree of Life Theater. So they're actually going to get rid of the Bugs Life Theater, and they're going to put in Zootopia to replace it. So, it's funny because if you look at Zootopia and the theming of the land, it doesn't really seem to fit into Animal Kingdom very well, the way it's themed. So I think this is their way of bringing it to the Animal Kingdom without having to build its own land. And so they're going to be having Judy Hopps, Nick Wilde, and all the other characters in their own, little theatrical movie. And it should be kind of cool. Obviously, they're still finalizing concepts, so they're going to announce more in the future, and who knows how much will change by the time they do the next announcement. But one of the cool things I thought that they're doing is the Country Bear Jamboree Bears will be singing classic Disney songs with a country musical twist and a new show in 2024. So they're going to be singing a lot more, Disney songs. But it's cool that they're actually updating Country Bear Musical Jamboree. For a long time, they've been saying that it needs to be updated. There are rumors that maybe they would close it and get rid of it, but it's a really popular attraction at Walt Disney World. I'm bummed that we don't have it at Walt Disney or Disneyland anymore, but at least at Walt Disney World they still have it. I think the main thing is they really need to update the characters, right? All the characters they have currently are hydraulic characters. So the new characters should be built with servos. And they're really trying to future-proof this attraction, which is going to be great because building these new animatronics with servos, they'll be able to update the Country Bear Jamboree very easily and very quickly in the future compared to what it's been in the past. So all the characters still coming back. We're still gonna have Big Al, Henry, Trixie, Romeo, and Wendell, and Teddy, and Terrence, and Ernest. But this time it's gonna be new animatronics, which is great, and they're gonna have some new songs. And they're working on those songs right now, and that will be opening up in 2024. I think that was the last one. Oh no, they did make talk about a couple things regarding Shanghai Disney's Zootopia Land. They talked about Epcot's going to get a new show on December 5th called Luminous, which is the Symphony of Us. And then they provided a little more detail regarding Fantasy Springs at Tokyo Disney Resort. And that was pretty much it. But really, when it comes to Destination D23, it's usually just a bunch of announcements, and usually they're not announcements that are to wow everyone. It's just, hey, these are some things we're working on. These are some things we'd like to do. Here's what we're presenting to you, since it's not a regular D23, event. And that's pretty much what they talked about.
Yeah. Interesting. I don't know. For me, I'm just it's. We got one piece of artwork for all of the Disneyland Resort. We got one little additional thing for the Avengers Campus e-ticket ride that, even if they started today, is about 3 years off minimum.
At least.
And it's like, and they don't even have the real concept of everything fully fleshed out. So, basically we're looking at 2030 for that e-ticket.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, actually, they're kicking the can down the road, trying to keep everybody interested, and they're not giving the fans really much other than, hey, this is what we're hoping to do in the future.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that's all well and good, but at this point, it's like, just keep the parks up right now. Make sure the parks are running as smooth as possible. And don't worry about wowing us with phony announcements, because that's what it feels like to me.
That's the problem with D23, and that's the problem with, I think, a lot of these announcements, is that it's, hey, this is what we'd like to do, this is what we're planning on doing, but it may not even come to fruition, which is a real bummer. I'd rather them come out and say, hey, look, we're going to do this, and this is the date it's coming out, and this is what we're going to do, and be solidified. It's more of a, hey, here's a little taster of what we'd like to do. May not happen, but we're trying to work on it. So it is kind of a bummer.
Yeah, and I will say that almost I don't even really think I'm all that excited about most of those announcements, just because it seems like so many of the parks are becoming just a mesh of stuff rather than a true theme type of park. And that's what I find really disturbing and really kind of concerning. As a fan of theme parks, it's why are we shoehorning Zootopia into the Tree of Life? That makes no sense. It doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't fit thematically the way A Bug's Life does. It's like it's frustrating to watch, and you got to be questioning some of these decisions that they're making.
Kaylee says they still need to finish Toontown, and then she said, like Donald Splash Pad, where you at? LOL.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but that's what we're getting. And then don't forget, we've got a lot of things. Have you guys seen the bridge in San Francisco? Have you guys seen the pictures of that? I went over there because I was looking at it, and I was talking with a buddy of mine, Vash Sky, and I told him, I said, it looks unfinished. It's like some of the seams are just off and whatever. So I went back to go get some pictures to show him, and I was astounded at how many of the base plates are off by inches, how many of them are missing screws, how many have screws just sitting on the ledges. It was crazy. And it's the kind of thing where we constantly get these, these big refreshed lands, but they slow roll them for some reason. It's like you can't just finish your land and premiere it all at once. I don't know. I mean, I know that's nothing necessarily new, but at the same time, it's like we're not in the 50s and 60s anymore. You guys aren't blazing a new trail into what a theme park is, And it's like something like San Francisco, that's just a light retheme. You're not coming up with groundbreaking attractions that, oh my God, the technology, we're trying to catch up to it or anything. It's putting a bridge together. It's basically a Lego set that you guys created, and you couldn't even get that right.
Hey, we're still trying to get the treehouse open.
There's no treehouse. They're lying to us.
Oh,
you think you see a treehouse, but that's not a treehouse. They're never going to open it because there's no way a treehouse could take this long to build.
I want to tell you, I was told by someone this past weekend that the treehouse is finished. It's been finished. Disney has been taking their sweet time on opening up, and they make it look like they're still working on it when they really don't have anything to do. So that was an interesting rumor I heard.
No, you guys are all wrong. They're going to move Hungry Bear up to the treehouse.
Hey, buddy, he asked.
You get a better view.
Buddy had asked, didn't they say they're going to retheme Dinosaur with Indiana Jones? Yeah, we talked about that earlier. It was actually the beginning, so you might have missed that, buddy. But
yeah, actually, it's the exact same attraction. Literally, track layout, everything is exactly the same. So all they would have to do is just they're still going to have to gut most of it because it's a lot of that would have to change just for the show scenes, but it is the exact same ride system and layout.
Think about how many animatronics I have with the dinosaurs that they're going to take out now. There's going to be less animatronics, so hopefully it'll be they won't have to worry about it breaking down, and they'll stay updated a lot longer. Then again, look at our Indiana Jones.
And I don't understand how Indiana Jones fits with the theme of Animal Kingdom.
Hey, it's all about saving conservation and treasures and stuff.
And even that, I mean, it doesn't. The whole thing. It doesn't have to be about conservation anymore. I mean, you could have it, but just have it themed to the natural world. Indiana Jones is about, archaeology, but that's more of a human thing. So I just, like I said, there's just questions that I have as far as what the ideas are at Imagineering that are driving all of this, other than potentially just suits saying, get popular stuff out there.
Well, I think, I mentioned this earlier, but, Joe Rohde, he was all about, keeping things not IP related in the park and just wanted to keep things like that over at Animal Kingdom. But, now that he's not there, I think they're just trying to do whatever they can. It's kind of like, when California Adventure opened, it was great. It was Californianized, but it wasn't that great. Oh, let's throw some Pixar and Disney related stuff over there and get people to like it. So that's probably what's happening with Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're awfully quiet over there, Adventures in the Park.
Hey, you know what? I have an idea. So we're talking about Walt Disney World. I don't think Cordy and I have ever been there. Why don't Bob and Danny sponsor us to go over there? We can see it
we'll
for
report
ourselves.
Back.
And I can take my 20 magic bands with me and pass them out.
Wow. I think we need to do a streamathon party and, raise some money for that trip.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me for a magic band in Cordy's chat. I think it was, who was it? I'd have to go back through. They said, "Can I have one?"
Was it Kaylin? I think it was Kaylin that said,
I have to go back.
You're in the giving mood.
Yeah, I have to be in the mood. But yeah, I think we should have a sponsored Walt Disney World trip when we can see Indiana Jones for ourselves.
Yeah, Brian has it. Trade some magic bands for a plane ticket to Florida.
There you go.
I was going to go there just to ride Tron, but another streamer I know did, so I don't have to. Personally, I think they should tear down the Pixar Hotel and build Tron right in that spot.
The Pixar Hotel?
Well, it used to be called the Paradise Pier Hotel.
Why do you want to build it over there?
Well, there's nowhere else. What are they going to do? Take out? What else could they take out that takes up that much space?
Utopia.
No.
Oh no! I love the fresh smell of gasoline in the morning.
We got two people here that would be like really upset because they do karaoke Utopia.
Let's all look at Bob. Wait, which way do I look? This way. Wait, which way?
I know. I'm like,
Hey, at least you didn't say the submarines.
Well, who knows? Maybe they'll take that out too.
I'll stop going to Disneyland if they take that out.
Yeah, especially now that you can stream it.
Hey,
I think it was.
Hey, everybody! I live streamed the submarine successfully.
Nice.
Last Saturday.
And I think it was Brian in the chat who had mentioned, they didn't, what happened to Avatar? They didn't say anything about any, plans for Avatar. Not even and by the way, don't forget Avatar's coming. Nothing. So.
Yeah, I know. What was up with
you
that?
just got to wonder what's going on over there, and or do they really have any solid plans for anything, or is this just a bunch of, hey, we got to just say something and get the fans excited, and maybe in 3 years we'll have a good grasp as to what the fans are looking for and hoping for. But I don't know. It just, yeah, exactly, Brian. They don't have any money, and that's part of it. It's like, look, we all know how the economy is. We all get it. Just kind of tone things back and tell us just what you're going to do. Don't give us these big grand ideas that are really not going to ever happen. But of course, they've got to keep the investors happy and make sure that people are not jumping ship on them. But
I know why we don't have Tron at Disneyland, because we have Gadgets Go Coaster, which is 45 seconds, opposed to Tron's minute and 10 seconds. So we don't really need Tron because we have Gadgets.
The reason.
Yeah, and you can't go handheld on either one. So, it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
David
Anthony.
Eisner.
Yeah, David Anthony has a good question. When you think they're going to start doing something with the Fox characters?
Mm.
If they'd be able to use the Fox characters if they had a theme park that was themed to like movie studio kind of stuff.
Hey, that's where they're going to put it, over where Toy Story parking lot is.
Yeah,
Disneyland Forward. There you go.
Yeah, no, but I mean that's the kind of thing. It's like they have Disney Hollywood Studios and they're doing nothing with it. They're not learning how to capitalize on the stuff that they spent 70 billion on or something like that. It just
yeah. Well, I mean they should and they could, but with all the stuff going on in Florida right now.
Yeah. No, I get it, but at the same time it's like if you're going to try to wow us with something that's, a little innovative, a little new, a little something that's themed to the park that it's going into.
Disney stock has been in the
They are
lately.
They're bringing back the Run Disney series to Disneyland, which I did every one of those. So they are wowing us with that. That went away for 5 or 6 years, and now it's coming back. Run Disney half marathons.
Mm-hmm. That doesn't wow me, Steve.
That doesn't wow you? You want to run to Angel Stadium and back at 5 in the morning?
Look, I love walking in the park and I love getting my steps and my miles in, but running a mile is not my idea of fun. So.
No, it's 7 miles. 13 miles. The half marathon.
Okay, still, I'd rather walk in the park.
Yeah. I'll get my 30,000 steps in and we'll be good.
Brian was asking about Tiana's Bayou Adventure. I think it's next. They just said 2024, right?
Yep.
Yes, 2024. Mm-hmm. What did G-Man say? G-Man says Disney needs to dump Disney Plus and cut their losses. Go back to leasing product to Netflix. Oh, well, that's something too.
Yeah.
Boy, no comment from the group.
Yeah.
Tough crowd.
Well, let's talk about something that's actually going to be that I'm actually kind of thinking is a good thing. The announcements for the Haunted Mansion exterior, the surrounding area improvements. I think those are good. I'm hopeful with those ones, especially the carriage house at the exit. I think that is going to be really, really cool.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
something
so,
it
too.
needed. It. We've had that fast pass space that's, just been sitting there at
Yeah,
the
exactly.
side there by the train station. So I can't wait. I think that's a great upgrade for that area.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
I hope that they theme it well enough that it blends from Tiana's to the park to Haunted Mansion. I hope that it's a good transition. If they're gonna spend the money on it, because right now it's and it's a nice little park, but honestly, you're either just cruising by there, you're sitting having some popcorn, or waiting for somebody who's using the restroom over there by the train station. So hopefully, at least it gets utilized and makes the area look really nice. Because when they've got the extended queue for Haunted Mansion, all it is ropes and stanchions, and just it's not the most attractive.
What? Just kidding.
Yeah, I don't know if I want that.
Cordy, I think it was Mermaid Plans. I think she wanted the magic band.
Well, there you go.
So you want a magic band? You show up on a Saturday. You tell me the day before. I'll bring you a magic band and hand it right to you.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is what Theme Park Casual is talking about regarding the new Haunted Mansion grounds expansion with the retail shop. So this is a picture right here of what the retail shop is supposed to look like. I don't know about you guys, but just looking at that right offhand, it looks like it belongs over by the Matterhorn. Kind of.
Yeah, it's a little hard to tell. I think the color scheme has a little bit to do with that. So I'm hoping that, like I said, I'm hopeful, because even the other side, the park area, it's like it felt like it was too bright for Haunted Man to be that close to Haunted Mansion. So I'm hoping that they transition things nicely. So,
Yeah,
but the
nice.
carriage house, I think that's a good place to put a shop for Haunted Mansion, and I think having it be, like I said, the carriage house, I think that's a good place for it, and it kind of goes with the whole, stately manor, and then where they would have their horses and stables and everything off to the side like that.
Well, it kind of makes me wonder if they're going to, with this new, walkway or pathway, are they going to make it like Walt Disney World, where it's kind of interactive? Is it going to be, I don't know, or is it just going to be a new pathway and walkthrough? I don't know. I kind of hope it'll be a little more interactive.
Yeah, I would hope that they've got something. I don't know if I want the cartoony interactive that's at Florida, but yeah, it would be nice to have some stuff going on. Maybe they could have your magic band activate something so that it goes off, and your magic band actually has a use inside the park.
Oh, the heartbeats is not good enough for you? Kidding. Yeah,
No,
I agree
I
with you.
actually
That would
do
be
like
great.
that. That's one of the few things that I'm like, okay, that's impressive, when you do fun stuff like that, but they don't do enough of it.
Right.
I haven't done the bounty hunting in I don't know how long.
I have never even bothered with it.
You've never done it, Theme Park Casual? What the heck?
I've
The
never
bounty hunting
bothered
is
with
cool. Although I did have a problem one time where it didn't work for me at all. And that was kind of frustrating. And I literally had to leave the land and come back to get it to reset. But it's kind of cool. It's kind of fun. But it really only lasts for long. And then you're kind of like, okay, I've done 2 or 3 bounties. I'm done. But yeah, they need to do more with the magic band. Hey, maybe that's why they're trying to get rid of these magic band, magic key bands to everyone.
Yeah, see, and with the bounty hunter thing, if you want people to do stuff like that, there's got to be some sort of reward. There,
Yeah,
Jen
like
J
the
puts, there are
credits.
no prizes. It's like,
Yeah.
can you imagine how nuts people would be doing this if it was like every month there's a new sticker if you complete so much of the bounty hunting game? Even just a sticker.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that's all it would take, and you'd have people going nuts with it.
So
Right.
Judy had a quick question. I don't think we do. Does anyone know if we have an RV park here for Disneyland? I've never seen one or heard of one at the Disneyland Resort.
We used to have it, and then
Used to be, yeah.
Yeah. They got rid of it when California Adventure came in, and they had to put the structure up. That's where it was.
So it's been a while. It's been quite a while.
Yeah, it's been a couple of decades now. Yeah.
And then I know we had a question from Hope. I don't know if I don't have the information myself on the Heartbeat of New Orleans. Do you all know anything about?
I have not heard.
She had me read it on a couple of. Hold on, let me get it. So it's debuting on September 29th on the Rivers of America, and let's see, it's going to play until Phantasmic returns, but it's basically a new nighttime projection show called The Heartbeat of New Orleans.
Okay, projection show.
Okay, that's what it is.
And G-Man says that your magic band activates the Headless Horseman. I have not tried that.
You know what? I did try that the other night, actually. And yeah, it did. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, because it did replace the big medallion that
right
was there that we could activate. So that makes sense. I had not tried that, G-Man. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, are you playing the Main Street Electrical Parade for Hope? All right. Anything else on the Haunted Mansion?
I don't think so. Has everybody gotten to check out Haunted Mansion Holiday?
I tried to, as many people know, on my live stream. I ran over there, and I had 3 minutes to spare, and I went through the line. It said 90 minutes. It was not going to be a 90-minute ride. They made some announcement that no one could hear, and then about 10 minutes later, everyone's walking through the line, and they were escorting everyone off property because they said it broke down. They were not going to be able to reopen it, so they sent everyone home, which was a bummer.
Yeah.
But I am determined to get on it here in the next week or two. I'm sure I'll get on it one of these streams soon.
Yeah, it's around for a while, so that's the good thing. A long while. Sorry, just taking this time I was looking through the chat, but I know we said it in the chat, but Steven Singleton's birthday today, so I just wanted to give him a big
happy birthday.
Happy birthday to Steven Singleton. Yay. Sorry, we don't have anything to put other than in the chat.
Happy birthday.
Give him one of your magic bands, Cordy.
There you go. See? Ooh, she's like, no.
I think I'm going to buy some more on Saturday just because.
Do it.
All right, guys. Is there anything else anybody would like to talk about? I think that kind of covers the things that we had on the docket.
Yeah, I'm just looking through for questions. I guess if you have last minute questions too out in the audience that you might have, or maybe we missed, please feel free on those last few minutes that we're on. We'd love to see if we can answer those for you if you do. But otherwise, yeah,
Brian's asked if any of us are going to a haunt event that doesn't have a treat trail. I will be going to Not Scary Farm several times, but I would also be doing Not Spooky Farm, which does have treat trails. So kind of a yes and a no, because I'm doing both versions of Knots.
So they do that on the Snoopy side? Is that
actually, it's all throughout Ghost Town, and I think possibly they might do it, in other areas as well. But they're just little booths that they have set up with different types of candy. So, but yeah, they let the kids go through. But I do have to say that at Spooky Farm, one of the funniest things happened to me last year. So at night, they've got the monsters. In the daytime, they've got some citizens of Calico who are spirits. So they've got the Undertaker and a couple of, they've got a grandma and another lady and the train conductor. So I was sitting there last year, and one of these ladies walks by. She's all done up. She looks like like the ghoul or whatever. And she's like walking around, and it is lighthearted scares, so they get the kids to play along and whatever. But as she walks by me, she goes, "Ooh, gas prices." Ooh, and just wanders off.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It was funniest thing for me. I'll never forget it. It was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, I'm also going to be going to Not Scary Farm on the 21st with Theme Park Casual and our friend Andrew Disney and his girlfriend Maria, and it should be a lot of fun. I don't know. I'm trying to see if I can get to Halloween Horror Nights. That's something else I'm working on at the moment. And then what I'd like to try to do is do a maybe a local Halloween haunt somewhere that I can actually go and film or do a live stream. So I'm looking for some of those that are local in Orange County that I can go to. And if I find some, obviously we'll talk to the group and maybe we can do it as a streamer party. Ooh. Oh, although some people might be scared.
Well, you know what I'm going to do? I think I told you guys. And somebody said that's more intense than, I think you did, Danny.
Yeah.
To the
Hallow Scream at SeaWorld.
So
yeah, that's another one I'm working on as well. I'm a platinum pass holder, so I get free tickets, but I haven't had a chance to work it out with my wife yet on going to the park and when I can go. So
we're going the 29th, but Dragonblood said he'll be my human shield. So
that's so nice of him. But yeah, it's awesome. And by the way, if you guys are going to some Halloween hunts or you find some, let us know. Obviously, when we come back in a couple weeks, on the 25th, we'll be talking about our escapades over at Not Scary Farm. So we'll be sharing those with you. But if you guys know of any good Halloween haunts that are local or you'd like us to cover, let us know and maybe we can cover those as well. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, Brian says there's the haunted car wash not far from Disneyland. So things like that could be kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. And then what else I can say? There's something else I was going to mention, but I can't remember what it was. Okay, pass on that one, Bob.
All right, kids. Well, then I think we are going to probably wrap it up. Were there any other questions that we can field from the chat? Did you guys see anything?
Oh, let's see. Did I miss anything? Brian said there's an Insta that has the local California haunts. Okay, cool. Awesome, Brian. We'll definitely check those out. So I appreciate the information.
All right, guys. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up tonight. Thank you everybody for joining us tonight. I want to thank my co-hosts, Bob, Steve, Cordy. Thank you again for a wonderful night. Let's go ahead and go around the horn and let everybody know where you can find where they can find you on social media, and also where they're going to be finding you next, either in the parks or out and about. So let's start with you, Cordy.
So Cordy in California on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Cordy in Cali 1 on X. And actually, I have my Discord, which I forgot to mention earlier. So you can also find me on Discord.
All right, awesome. And Bob, Berry Place 28. Let everybody know where they can find you.
So you can find me on YouTube and X, which I so have a hard time saying Twitter, Instagram, and obviously, what is that? The Twitch. You can find me at Berry Place 28, but I will be streaming just FYI tomorrow night at Oogie Boogie Bash. So if you guys don't have anything to do, like to join me, please go to my channel and make sure that you watch tomorrow night. It should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to going and experience it tomorrow night. And then I'm going to see if I can try to stream later this week if possible. But next week will be the busy week with, I think, Disneyland and Not Scary Farm.
All right. And our good buddy Steve, Adventures in the Park. Could you let everybody know where they can find you?
Adventures in the Park, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. And I will be live streaming the submarines at Rope Drop Saturday. I want to get my own submarine again, which I've had a few times. Hey, it's really nice when you get your own submarine. You're the only one in there. You're not disturbed by anybody. And it's kind of a blast. So if I time it right, I can get my own sub. Because they only hold the sub for so long. So
Right.
if they can't get a few guests, they'll just let it go out. So, yeah, I plan on rope dropping the subs this week, Saturday.
That's awesome.
I'll be at the
Awesome.
parking structure at 6 a.m. as usual, or earlier.
Nice.
You night people, you'd rather close up the park than open the park.
I like to
Hey
sleep
man,
in.
I do both. I've done rope drop stream and then stayed around and did a night stream to closing. So
Yeah,
don't get on me, man.
The other two
All right,
guys
and you can
were
find me on YouTube at Theme Park Casual, as well as all the socials, Twitter, X/X, and Instagram, Theme Park Casual. I will be live at Disneyland this Wednesday night, and like Barry Play said, we will be hitting Not Scary Farm next week for opening night and doing a whole bunch of other stuff, and we'll be there probably several times during the season. So again, thank you everybody for joining us for Park Streamers Hangout. We will catch you guys in 2 weeks when we're back again for the next version of Park Streamers Hangout, where we'll be wrapping up and talking about the opening weekend of Not Scary Farm. So until then, my co-host, thank you again for a wonderful evening. And kids, we will see you next time.
Electromagnetic musical sounds. That's for you, Hope Blaymeyers. Good night.
Night, everyone.